Danny Jay here. Welcome back to the Man Cave right here on the DJB Productions Network. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you're hitting the notification bell and leave us a comment. We want to hear from you. Also, if you're on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/thebigvitobrand, and you can catch the show right on there as well. A lot of great shows on the Big Vito brand, as well as right here on the DJB Productions Network. You're going to love it. Let's go in here. We got a great show for you today. Let's talk to Big Vito LaGrasso.
What's going on, guys? I hope everybody's doing good. Peace out there. Welcome to the Man Cave Studio. You know my pad is plush, looking fabulous. Here, in the Miami Beach area. It's my second house and stuff. You know how it is when I'm pimping and shit. So let's pick the day off, man. Come on, Dan. What we got?
Sounds like a good thing. We have a pretty cool show today. We got Men in the Kitchen.
Oh,
Should it happen? I don't know. I think if we want to live.
Hey, Dan, by the way, did you do something different with your hair? It looks pretty snazzy this week.
You like it, huh? See,
I do like it.
I cut my own hair, and I take care of it.
I think it's probably the best I've seen your hair look in quite a while there. It looks good.
I appreciate that. A lot of people are like, hey, you look pretty fresh over there. How are you saying fresh and doing 6 feet apart? I said, because I do it all myself.
I do it all myself and staying away from the wife. I'm telling Dan, you got the formula, kid.
It's what you do. It's what you do. The funny thing was, we're doing a show today, talking about Man in the Kitchen. We had a lot of posts. My wife had her mother-in-law made her artichoke hearts, which you were like, oh, Jesus Christ, look at those things. They
look beautiful.
They were beautiful. She made me her homemade mac and cheese. And you think mac and cheese, what's so big about that? Not the way she makes it.
No, I'm telling you, your mother-in-law, she's got the goods. She's got some secrets. Dan, you are one lucky SOB. I'm
telling you, I've been eating. I was eating mac and cheese right before I got on the show today. Because we got talking. I wasn't going there, and then you started talking to me about it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get some mac and cheese. So I pulled that out right before I got on the show, and then I ate that and stuff like that. But we're talking about Man in the Kitchen. When men are in the kitchen, it is something where, before we get together with our spouses, before we get together with our significant others, we got to take care of ourselves. And by all means, we have to learn something. Now, that's not to say that we're like chefs. Some of us are. Some of us are better in the kitchen than others. Some of us withhold information, so to speak. But we're going to talk about a lot of crazy stuff today. I'm going to give you some ghetto and project recipes for those of you who just are not good in the kitchen, but it'll keep you fed, okay? V being a big into training, being a professional wrestler for so many years and keeping a very low body fat. You had a lot of different things that you ate. We're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about also, before you got into wrestling, your diet habits then versus now. So we'll talk about that as well.
Oh, man, Dan. First of all, I got to say, having a little taste of your mother-in-law before the show gives you a little pep. I notice you're very happy right now. I'm excited, too. I'm
very good.
I'm telling you. But like you're talking about, we were talking about before the show, guys. We were talking about old school eating habits. Now, just by saying it, stuffed artichokes, right? Stuffed artichokes, when you get down to the hearts and when you're a kid, you wouldn't, I don't like this, maybe, but you appreciate that old style cooking, and that is very hard to come by. Now, Dan's mother-in-law still cooks the same way. Yeah. And it is appreciated today. And you talk about eating habits. When you grow up in an Italian household, it's your gravy, your sausage, your pork, your meatballs. Throw it all in a pot, let it simmer for 4 or 5 hours, bring it out, pasta, bread, semolina, dessert. And then, that's how you grow up. I mean, veal cutlets, chicken cutlets, eggplant parmesan.
We can go on and on.
You can go on and on. And, something that, and you talk about greens in a time that broccoli rabe used to be the most expensive thing to buy. And you don't find anybody who makes broccoli rabe. And I think Tony Luke still makes it. They have the broccoli rabe and chicken sandwich, right? But those old school values are very hard to come by these days. It's just the new generation just let it pass on by.
I'll tell you, and the funny thing is, like my wife is Sicilian, and I'm Nobledon. My great grandmother was from Venice. Okay, We're both third generation. You're like what, first generation out here? Second? Yeah, first. Yeah.
First generation.
Yeah. So you're a little bit more greaseball than I was.
Yes.
And my wife is. My wife is complete greaseball. And what we mean by that is that there is stuff you eat as an Italian that your doctor's not going to recommend. No. Okay. It's as simple as that. Me being Napolitan, he calls us fake Italians, which is bullshit because I'm 100% Italian. But the thing is, we ate differently. That Sicilian blood, that they eat stuff that's a lot hotter, a lot spicier, that type of thing. Napolitans, we were a little bit more mild in the sense, that type of thing. I'm a light-haired guy with green eyes who's 100% Italian, so I'm like a fucking unicorn in the world, when it comes down. But the food difference, and my wife, when she gets into food, let me tell you something. It's like, don't talk to me. Let me concentrate on this, because that's the way it was. And we both families, and your family, I'm sure, was the same thing. Sunday dinner was always a big thing where the whole family got together. It's almost like forget about the rest of the week, but Sunday was the day where everybody, it was just a big, big, giant meal. And like you said, chicken cutlets, meatballs, sausage, gravy, whatever pastas you're going to do, that type of thing. And a lot of meats, antipasto, a lot of antipasto,
Do you know what my favorite food was growing up in a kid? Now, I don't know if anybody realized this, but my father was a gourmet chef, okay? And he owned a very famous restaurant called Joe DiMaggio's Restaurant in Queens, in Flushing, Queens. And he used to cook for the Jets, the Mets, the Yankees, when everybody used to play at Shea Stadium.
Nice.
Everybody had a Shea. So my favorite food when I used to go to the restaurant used to be chicken Florentine. The way he cooked it with the lemon butter and the chicken rolled up with the spinach, and it had a blast of garlic, because everything had garlic, back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But chicken Florentine, I could eat that all day long. That was my favorite meal. I ate it. I used to ask him to bring it home. I used to ask him to make it for me. I mean, hey Dan, do you still have the pea soup?
Yeah, we do. I never liked pea soup, but yeah, we did in the family. We always did.
In the family, right? And you have the big bowl of pea soup where you can eat pea soup for days, and you'd be like, you can just get full on that. Like 2 bowls of that, and you were like, oh no, I can't.
They used to make, on my side, they used to make shredol all the time.
Yeah.
For those of you Medigans out there, that's wedding soup. If you see it in Wawa, it's escaroli is how.
Yeah, my wife is a big wedding soup, person, and like we used to go to the diner in our hometown, and we used to get the buffet because it had the wedding soup and the salad bar and that. The wedding soup, the wedding soup used to be her thing. But I got to tell you, did you ever used to eat? I think it was the prosciutto that used to hang in the basement, and you used to cut it off. It's the prosciutto.
Nice.
That's what it was, right? You can go down, and it used to be raw, guys. I mean, it was the fattiest thing you ever seen in your life. But when you cut it, you ate it. If you eat too much of that, I really didn't care. I was eating it. And if you had mozzarella cheese, or you had some provolone, and if you had semolina bread, I don't know, Dan, if you used to eat panelles or rice balls. Oh my God. You're talking the prosciutto bread.
Now, you are still, I mean, you maintain your body and stuff like that.
Right.
But you maintain your, I should say, worker physique.
Right.
Okay. Now, before you got in, you're eating all this shit. You must have been about 500 pounds. When you first broke in, you didn't look like this.
When I broke into wrestling business, I was 212 pounds. I wasn't big, and not by any
you weren't big, but you were, the way you carried it.
Yeah.
Was
big.
Like this.
And then when I got to be 292, I carried every bit of 292 where I was a house. I was a big, big man. And then when you talk about transition, taking care of your body, to getting down to as low as 205, like cut, shredded, ripped. You're like, you don't look good. No, I'm looking good. I'm jacked. But it was unhealthy in some ways, because the food that you didn't eat and appreciate. I think if when I was still wrestling, I was coming to your house to eat. Your wife used to put together like Italian foods because I'm big into
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
the breadsticks with the prosciutto and the olives and all that
Hmm.
stuff. And we used to, on Sundays, we used to eat that. It used to be my day to eat. So I used
Yeah, it
to
was
eat
your cheat day. That's right.
my
It was
cheat
your
day.
cheat day. Yeah. Now, meanwhile, I'm watching this son of a bitch in there with muscle milk and tuna fish. Muscle milk and tuna fish. Muscle milk and tuna fish. That's all it was all week.
That's it.
And I'm looking at him like he's scooping it out of a can. It's about this big. And I'm like, and I'm looking, and he's taller than me. And I mean, I'm 5'8". He's, what are you, 6'2"? What are you,
6'2".
6'2", right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's obviously a lot taller than me and stuff like that. But I'm like, I would have to eat 6 cans of that just to get myself past an hour. And this is what he was surviving on all
But then,
goddamn week.
now, when we used to, now my wife and I used to sleep over Dan's once in a while, right? So
Yeah.
his wife would cook breakfast. So you talk about people cooking breakfast, right? You talk about eggs and pancakes and bacon. I never seen a man like Dan eat yet pancakes.
And a hollow leg.
Not just like like here you go, guest. Here, eat first. No, it was Dan took a fork. It was a 9-foot fork, and 8.5 feet were in the pancakes. Picked them up like this, put them on his plate, and me, Christina, my wife, we're all sitting slicing apart a piece of pancake to eat.
Yeah, and I got diabetes.
Right, you got diabetes.
That's right.
So, and there he is. He's sitting there chowing out. But Dan maintained being an eater of his heritage. I mean, that's the way it was.
So wait, I can't sustain myself on small things like being the diabetic. Like I wasn't diabetic all my life. I became diabetic when I was around 28.
Right.
I'll be 46 this year, and it was a game changer because of the fact that I didn't become diabetic because of my eating habits. I have type 1B, which is called latent landon diabetes. It's like a type 1 that you're born with, but it doesn't come out until later in life.
Right.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with diet. Now, diet will help maintain it, but I didn't do anything to get it. Let's put it that way. Okay, and so it was a challenge for me eating like we did,
right,
to then not eat certain things. Now you forget when you say, "Oh my God, I can't eat." You forget you can eat meat and you're not going to die. Okay, you're not going to starve to death.
right.
But which being an Italian, I can eat sausage and meatballs all fucking day long. You know what I mean? That's the thing. But when you are looking at other stuff, because you have to count carbs and you count carbs because of your diet alone.
Right.
But and diabetes really just makes you eat well. It really does. It forces you to eat in a better way.
A way of life.
Yeah, it really does. Now your wife Noelle has none of these problems with eating. No. I've seen her eat. That girl can put it away.
No, she can eat.
she can eat.
And then
nothing wrong with her eating.
You know what? My wife can eat, and she eats healthy. She likes her roast beef sandwiches from the Wawa. She likes, she enjoyed Tony Luke. She loves fries. She loves McDonald's. She loves all that stuff. And she maintains herself the best she can, right?
Yeah. You can't get Tony Luke's down here, can you? You get it in the supermarket?
I don't think there is a Tony Luke's by me.
Everything. Ever since he sold out, I think you can get him in the supermarket, but it's not the same thing. Obviously, it's not like going to the location.
Dan, you still can't find a good bagel unless you're in New York.
There you go.
Or a good slice of pizza, unless it's New York pizza.
That's right.
Some people bring it down here, and you got your Papa John's, you got CC's, you got
all the chains.
All the chains. You want to know the one piece I did eat, and you're gonna laugh, and you're gonna say you're crazy, right? I go into this one 7-Eleven. It's ghetto, and they'll be, "Hey V, what's going on?" And like the girl, "Hey, what's going on, baby? How you doing? What's going on?" And I play the game. I like being the hood guy, right? So they were having a sale. Guys, you got to try this. 7-Eleven pizza. Nobody would think it is any good, right? B got it. We're having a sale, $2.34 for 7-Eleven pizza, 2 pies. So the next day we happen to be going over to a friend's house.
These are personals?
Yeah, no, it's a large pie.
Oh, large pie. Okay.
Large pie for $2.34. The whole pie costs five and change, right? So I says, you know what? I says for $2.34, let me bring over 2 pies. What it could be hit or miss. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you now. You want to go have a good pizza? 7-Eleven pizza is actually really, really good. The
You heard it here.
The layers of cheese that are on it and the sauce, it's not that bad, and it's better than some of the other pizza places.
That's crazy. And that's and like you said, you would never know because people go in 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee, cigarettes, and a coffee. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many other places out there you don't even hear about 7-Eleven, but they'll never go away. 7-Eleven because they're too much in need.
And do you know, Dan, that they have that magic oven there? It's called a magic oven, right? The pizza is cooked in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, the pizza's cooked.
That can't be good.
No, Dan, I swear to you, Dan, I would not lie to any of my viewers. I'm not lying to Dan Boji. He's got mouths to feed in that house. Dan, $10 at the 7-Eleven. Is there a 7-Eleven up the street from you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Go and order the 2 pizzas. Bring it home tonight. See how fast that goes down.
I'm going to see if that's a regional thing because I've never heard of 7-Eleven having pizza, but I got to go look. Now, I haven't been in a 7-Eleven in years, but I'm going to go just so I can see if they have that.
Dan, I swear to you, you're going to call me up, V. You know, this is pretty good.
Where's that magic oven? I want to see this magic oven you got.
It's on behind the counter, and they put it in 2 minutes. The whole pizza's done.
Now, the funny thing is, you mentioned ghetto, and I'm going to tell you some ghetto recipes that I learned so long ago. Okay, that if you need a snack, now this is not to maintain you as a meal. Okay, this is snacks when you are. A lot of times people talk about it like when you're in your college life,
right?
And when you were training, you kind of like did the college life where you're living off of tuna fish and muscle milk, and that's it. You know, blah blah blah. Right? So you're keeping yourself very economical, etc. This is how you can do some ghetto snacks that are actually very good. One will sound okay. One will sound disgusting, but I'm telling you, both are good. Okay. The first one is you get yourself a box of Triscuits, regular Triscuits. You get yourself some pizza sauce, and you get yourself sprinkled cheese like you would use for taco. Okay. And you lay them out on a tray or microwave. You can do it in a microwave. This is the fastest thing you do. Lay it out on something that can go in a microwave, and you put the sauce on there. You sprinkle the cheese on there. If you want to get fancy, you get a piece of pepperoni, cut it into triangles. Like cut one slice of the pepperoni, right. Cut that in the across so you have triangles. Put that on there. Put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, and you have some of the best mini pizzas you will ever have. I'm telling you, try it tonight. You can give it to Noelle. Let her try it, and then if she likes it, then you can eat it. I'll tell you, I'll tell you, it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know if I want to try that. Dude, try it. It's really good.
I've actually seen that before.
It's really good.
I know they're good. People do eat that.
It's really good. And Triscuits are filling. And Triscuits, not for nothing, as far as a snack food, is, I don't want to say nutritious, but it's better than some other things. Okay. So you're not doing half bad. It's wheat. You're doing pretty good. Now, that was ghetto. Let's go projects for a second. Okay. We got to go one step lower. You can't afford Triscuits. Okay. Yeah. So you manage to get somebody to buy you a sleeve of Ritz crackers.
Right.
You get yourself some Ritz crackers. You can't afford pizza sauce. So you get yourself some Hunt's or some Heinz ketchup. I recommend Heinz if you could spend the extra couple cents. Wow. And you put these Ritz crackers out on a plate and you put ketchup. I swear to God, you put ketchup on these Ritz crackers. Not a lot. I'm not saying like a thick thing. Like something where you would, like if you did peanut butter, you put a little bit on there and you smear it over the Ritz cracker. And then do the sprinkled cheese. If you have the sprinkled cheese, you put it on there. Put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. Once again, this shit, you're like, it shouldn't be the bomb, but it is. Because it is project pizzas. I'm telling you.
I don't know about that one, Dan.
I'll feed it to Noelle. So let her eat it.
Well, my Florida snack is to get some whole wheat wraps, right? get some hummus, not a classic
Yes.
regular hummus with
Mhm.
lettuce and tomato. That's my nutritional snack for the day if I need something. Uh, guys, it's not bad. It's not bad. I tell you, hummus sandwiches, hummus wraps with lettuce. It's quick. It's on the
Well,
go.
you grew up with your dad owning a restaurant, so you kind of had cooking
Yes.
in your everyday life. So you kind of like you're kind of skewed in a sense because you know how to cook.
Right.
Okay. For those of you who don't know how to cook or were never formally trained how to cook, okay, I'd be interested to say what, if you leave a comment below, what is your go-to dish that if you're allowed in the kitchen, what can you make that you say, you know what, if I make anything good, I make this good, that type of thing. And I can cook. I mean, I can cook beef, I can cook chicken, I can cook pork, that type of thing. I don't go crazy. I'm not a chef. I don't make these special dishes. If you come over and say, Dan, what are you making for dinner? I'm going to make pork chops with mashed potatoes. I'll make pork chops and mashed potatoes. Ain't going to be nothing about them. They might be, if I go the extra mile and I have them marinated, they'll be marinated. You know what I mean? That's about where I get with it. But what I did do for the kids were like, I want some chicken. But what is it? Just we grilled chicken? I said, no, I'll take care of it. Right? I took olive oil or vegetable oil. It doesn't really matter. Olive or vegetable oil in a frying pan. Fill the frying pan. Get it going. Put the chicken breast in. Usually get thin chicken breast. You know what I mean? Kind of she uses for cutlets or anything like that. Put them in there, right? And then what I will do is take grated Parmesan, and while I'm frying it, I'm layering the grated Parmesan on the chicken. Flip it, grate it again. Maybe doing it about 2-3 minutes per side. Going it back over, doing it one more time, and I do it twice on either side, and you get this Parmesan encrusted chicken that tastes because cheese in general, when it gets fried, when it gets cooked, it still has a taste, even if it's burnt or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? So this encrusted chicken with the cheese on both sides, dude, I'm telling you, you're like, oh, this has got such a flavor to it. It's so good. Now, if you cook it too long, obviously you can dry out the chicken. But if you cook it just long enough, you have a crusty outer shell on the chicken from the cheese, and the chicken inside will still be juicy. But you do it in vegetable or olive oil, and I'm telling you, you just go to town. And it's not that long. It takes like a total of 10 minutes.
As a bunch of things I do cook, and now that everybody knows before I got married, I played the role of bachelor. I'm incapable. I don't know how to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But since I came out of, my hiding for cooking, I do enjoy cooking, and I do come up with some good meals.
Mm-hmm.
One of the meals that I was looking at one day was on one of the cooking shows where you have burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And you put olive oil on both sides with oregano or parsley.
Okay.
I'm sorry, parsley, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would say olive oil. Olive oil keeps meat juicy. So every time you bake, so I would either take them to the grill, and I like to use Black Angus burgers because
Mm-hmm.
they don't shrink.
Right.
So if I bake them in the oven, when they come out, and if I put a layer of cheese on them, they have cheeseburgers, obviously, no bun, just the cheeseburgers. You'll never find another juicier burger than that. When I do cook chicken, I like to marinate my chicken in Italian balsamic vinaigrette. You marinate it overnight and let it sit.
Yeah.
When you cook it, if you put it on the grill, it's extra
Right.
tender. Of course, your edges seasoned, but then when you cook it on the grill. Now, another thing when you grill, guys, again, olive oil your grill and baste the grill with olive oil because it keeps the juices and it cooks the food better.
Mm-hmm.
No lie, truth. When it comes to boneless spare ribs, you marinate it with steak sauce, a little shot of hot sauce. You put your meat tenderizer, you put your adobe on, whatever you want, and you let it sit. Again, you put olive oil on everything, because olive oil is the key to bringing juice to your meat. And you come up with these different things, and then if you get really creative, you cut the chicken in half. You're going to bake it in the oven. I'll make hummus and tomato baked chicken, pesto chicken, whatever it is. And they say, how do you know how to do all it? It's just from watching as a kid.
Yeah.
My old
Yeah.
man working in the kitchen, even though I hated it. But I used to see him do some amazing things in the kitchen. Guys, how do you make good meatballs, right? Everybody thinks you got to have 100% meat. No, it's the fat in the meatballs. Because my father used to have the chopped meat, and then he used to have fat. I said, Dad, why do you put the fat in the chopped meat? I said, I don't understand. He used to tell me, because when you make them, the meat has to have some fat so you get the flavor, and it absorbs in the sauce.
Yes.
So for all you people out there, when you're making homemade meatballs and you're thinking, okay, maybe you're getting some fatty chopped meat and then you're rolling it, don't worry about the fat so much, but the more fat you have, the more flavor you have. And the fuller your meatball is because they don't shrink.
Yes, this is true. Something I like to do, I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I saw this recipe and it looks so good, is you take like sausage, right?
Right.
Cut it in half. So this way you have two halves. Fry it up so it's cooked, right? Then you get cheese, preferably cheddar, like block cheese. Cut those into the length of the sausage, right? Cut them into like a thin rectangle, cube-ish type of thing, right? Sandwich them together. Then hollow out peppers. Get peppers. And do the same thing where you get two equal size halves of the pepper and sandwich the sausage, which is sandwiching the cheese, together, put toothpicks through it to keep it together. Then fry that up, or even better yet, barbecue it.
Right.
You can do it in tin foil if you like, that type of thing. And you're getting this pepper sausage cheese sandwich, which is without even, you could put it in a bun if you like, or if you're carb conscious, just take it with a fork and knife and eat it like that. Delicious. If you like flavor. Get sweet peppers if you don't like hot peppers, etc.
Another thing to do, guys, when you're cooking, I don't know if a lot of guys use the microwave for eggs, but when you cook your eggs, does anybody out there add cream or milk? Because it makes the egg more fluffy. And if you put it in a microwave, say if you scramble egg, scramble your egg, put it in for 2-3 minutes, right? You got around, your egg is done. If you do it in the pan, having the milk in there brings it to it makes it more fluffy, keeps it fuller. Another little secret on making eggs. So if you got to microwave eggs or you got to do something real quick, you know how to do it. And when me and Dan talked about the tuna fish in a can, honey mustard, you know what I'm saying? Anybody ever everybody loves baked potatoes. How about having baked potatoes with honey mustard? Add broccoli, add bacos, and stuff like that. It's the same thing you pay for in Outback or
Yes.
in the
Bacon is a great add-on, by the way. Can I tell you? It is. It really is. Anything with bacon is good.
And there are a lot of people out there who love bacon. They say, it's too expensive to buy, but bacon is $2.98 for the big jar.
Yes.
So you sprinkle that on your eggs, sprinkle that on your food, sprinkle it on a baked potato. And people wouldn't think to make baked potatoes. Baked potatoes is inexpensive.
Yes, it is. It really is. And it's a filling meal because the potato itself is actually very filling in a sense. What is your take on hot sauces? Personally.
I love hot sauce. I love a little kick in my food. I eat hot sauce with everything. And eating hot sauce is another way for you to digest because it gets your system going.
That's true. Now, I don't want to sacrifice the flavor for the hotness.
Right.
Or vice versa. You know what I mean? Because there's some people who really like it hot. Okay. And the problem with that is like I got some habanero sauce I got from somewhere. So let me try this. And I put it on like I put on Tabasco. And when I tell you, I had to take a towel and wipe my tongue down. And I went upstairs with my toothbrush and I had to scrape my tongue because it was too hot. I couldn't taste anything anymore. And I was like, this is not the experience I want to have. I like, for example, like you say with eggs, I put Tabasco on eggs. Rather than ketchup, rather than anything else, I put Tabasco. Tabasco is a little spice. It's not really a hot kick, but it gives you that kick flavor. It's almost like when you're used to drinking water and then all of a sudden you get fruit punch.
Now, and does anybody ever put steak sauce with their eggs? That's another thing to try.
Yes.
That's very good.
A1 really good. A1's really good with that. Yes.
Can't go wrong with that.
You know,
guys, there's a lot of little things you do, like when you try. Don't be afraid of trial and error. people don't like it. They don't like it, but having common sense and just getting little baking tips from watching Gordon Ramsay or the Dinah Show. You know what I mean? Well, I don't forget the whole name of the Dinah Show.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And if you go and watch these shows, guys, they do have some really good tips on how to make quick foods, especially if you're in diners or grills. Now, these people have to grill and they got to make it taste good. So why can't it taste good in your house?
Yeah. And guess what, guys? Everything we're talking about, yes, will it feed you? Absolutely. But you know what it also will do? It'll make you look really, really special to that special someone if you know how to do all this stuff.
Dan, shut up.
I'm just saying.
Now,
it is
a thing. Now, everybody knows the thing I did to my wife. If anybody out there listening doesn't know, I played the poor bachelor role. I was eating tuna out of a can, muscle milk, powdered. Babe, I don't know how to cook. And then I used to tell her all the time, listen here, girl, all right? You want to be here, you want my digits, you want me to put a ring on it, you got to learn how to cook, all right? You don't know how to cook, you ain't getting part of the BIGB from the LOG, okay? So my wife, well, I'm very proud of her. She learned how to cook. And we had an apartment. We were living in Seaville. And it was our first holiday, our first Thanksgiving, and she cooked her first turkey. Nice. Talk about proud. Talk about making a Thanksgiving dinner for the family. And then I was on the hook. I said, shit, doesn't taste too bad. I might have to pop the questions.
It wasn't like Christmas Vacation?
No. Legit. I give my wife props because she learned how to cook. And then, it wasn't until later on that, I think Dan Boji was the only one who knew I knew how to anything to do in the kitchen. And he said, "Fee, what the hell are you doing?" Shut up! I know how to cook. Just shut the fuck up.
Don't say anything. Don't say a goddamn word. This is happening in my kitchen. We're cutting a turkey. I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was something. But you and Becky were over. And we come in, and I said, I'm cutting this thing. I'm cutting it. And let me show you something. And he comes over, he takes the knife, and he's cutting. And there's nobody. He looks around like this. He goes, don't, not one fucking person what you're seeing here. He goes, don't let anybody fucking know that I know what I'm doing here. And he cut the whole thing. And they said, yo, go take credit for it. Go ahead.
Said, okay. Exactly. And Dan got the benefits that night. And
he said, this is your house.
Said, oh, Dan, you're so wonderful. I can't believe it. Look at my husband. Went on Facebook, went on Twitter, and went out the neighborhood door and clicked it. Hey, my husband cut the turkey. Can you believe it? Fucking
I love it. Oh, my husband. Oh, so nice. But you know what, guys? These are little things. Put some recipes down there in the comments. We love to hear what you guys are doing, what you guys are saying. Make sure you're hitting that subscription button. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell. Make sure you're leaving us a comment. Share the channel. Check that out. And once again, right here on YouTube, you're on the DJB Productions Network. We definitely want to see you come back. We have more shows on here on the channel. Go to twitch.tv/The Big Vito Brand. Plenty of shows on there as well. They got His versus Hers, which is a very, very funny show. That's you and Noel just going at it left and right. Plenty of topics. Great thing. If you like wrestling, Virtues of Wrestling is right on there with Big V and Virtue. You got right on my channel, you got That Way Cool Wrestling Show. So we got you covered which way you want to go. Just go ahead and check out the channels, subscribe, share it, love it. Okay.
That's it.
We had a great time today. And next week we're gonna have
very good conversations.
And you know what? And it wasn't a shit show. Everybody
wasn't a shit. We actually got a little taste of your mother-in-law today. I got excited. You got excited. You actually ate it. I'm like, all right, Dan.
And I sent pictures.
I sent pictures. Thank you.
And I sent pictures. So for my man Big V, my name is Danny Jay. Until next time, we'll catch you right here on the Man Cave.